All right, let's talk about something I see all the time: revenue operations. We're going to look at how to take RevOps from being just a tactical fix it role and turn it into a real strategic powerhouse. We're going to explore how a modern RevOps leader is actually the essential translator your C suite probably doesn't even know it's missing. Okay, let's get into it.
So let me ask you this. Why do so many great business strategies just fall apart? I mean, think about it. The leadership team spends months, maybe quarters, crafting this perfect plan. The vision is totally clear, everyone's pumped, and then 6 months down the line, the results just aren't there. Why does this keep happening? Well, here's the tough truth. Most companies don't fail because they have bad ideas. Nope. They fail because they can't actually turn that big, beautiful strategy into action on the ground. There's this huge breakdown somewhere between the whiteboard session and the daily workflow. And that breakdown, it actually has a name. We call it the strategy gap. It is that incredibly dangerous space between the high-level plan and the real-world results. And frankly, it's where momentum, money, and morale just go to die.
Does any of this sound familiar? You know, your sales team thinks the goal is book more demos, while marketing is totally focused on generate more leads. Or you spend a ton of money on a shiny new CRM, but it doesn't actually help the new sales process you're trying to roll out. Everybody's super busy, but the revenue needle, it's not moving. These are not just random problems. They're all symptoms of that same core issue.
So how in the world do you bridge this gap? Well, this is where our hero enters the story. The modern RevOps leader isn't just an operator, you see. They are the strategic connective tissue for the entire company. They are the translator. And this is what that really means in practice. A RevOps translator does way more than just manage software. They take a huge, ambitious goal, like, say, increase customer retention by 15%, and they systematically re-engineer the processes, the data, and the incentives needed to actually make that a reality. This quote absolutely nails it. It's not about just passively sitting in on strategy meetings, right? It's about actively taking what's decided in that room and building a living, breathing operational system that brings those decisions to life. Okay, this all sounds fantastic in theory, but how do they actually do it? Well, the whole process can really be broken down into three distinct, really powerful layers of translation. Just think of it as a three-part system. First, you get the people aligned. Then you enable them with the right tech. And finally, you drive the behavioral changes to make the whole thing stick. So let's start at the top with alignment. Everything starts right here. The translator digs in deep to understand the true business objective, not just the surface level stuff. Then they translate that objective into shared goals, clear OKRs, and aligned incentives for every single go-to-market team. Suddenly, everybody's rowing in the same direction because they're all looking at the same map. Right, so once everyone's on the same page, the focus shifts. With that strategy crystal clear, the translator then asks, what do we need to build to make this real? This is the technical part, configuring the tools, designing the data flows, defining the right metrics to build a system that makes the desired outcome not just possible, but actually probable. But of course, you can have the absolute best strategy and the most amazing tech stack, and you can still fail. Why? It's the human element. If people don't actually change the way they work day to day, none of it matters. This is that crucial final layer, where the RevOps translator helps align daily actions with the strategy through training, clear feedback, and a culture of shared accountability. And this brings us to a really critical shift in how we think about this. To get the most value out of RevOps, you can't treat them like an afterthought. They need to be involved from the very, very beginning, actually shaping the strategy, not just cleaning up a messy execution later. This table really highlights the fundamental choice every company has to make. Is your RevOps team treated like a reactive firefighter, just called in to fix problems after a plan has already gone off the rails? Or are they a proactive architect, involved early to make sure the plan is sound from day one? The difference in the impact they can have is absolutely enormous. I mean, when you give them that seat at the table, your RevOps leader can tell you if a strategy is even possible with your current systems. They can model what it will actually take in terms of people and money, design systems that can adapt on the fly, and this is a big one: spot potential conflicts between departments before they blow up. So what all of this is pointing to is the emergence of a new, absolutely essential leadership archetype for the modern business world: the strategic operator. So where does this kind of leader live?
Well, they operate at this incredible intersection. They don't just see a spreadsheet of data. They build a compelling narrative around it. They don't just design a process. They own its performance from end to end. They're managing the daily execution while also driving experimentation. This combination of skills is so rare and so powerful.
So this all leads to one final critical question for you to think about. In your organization, who is playing this translator role? Because without someone in that seat, even the most brilliant strategy is at risk of getting lost in translation somewhere between the C-suite and the front line. Is yours?